time and the dynamics on the ground and my business background and my commitment to this community, I think it shows that they are convinced that they can lose, and who knows what that means. I don't know the inner workings of Mr. Arcuri's
and
world.
What do you say to the people who, because the word was bounced around, and this is where these things, you get these viral, the stuff spreads in a viral fashion, especially with the internet today. But saying, well, it resulted in basically a bribe for the independence endorsement. You comment on that?
Yeah, it's easy. I mean, we had the endorsement. We were on the ballot. This was weeks before the actual election. Probably the time when I needed money most to advertise and that kind of thing. Well, you don't have to pay for something you already have.
Right.
And to make another point, Mr. Arcuri also made substantial contribution, I understand, in the same season. So, it's not unusual to support people that support you. I've done it all my life. I'm happy I did this, and I look forward to if I'm successful and I run again. I will help the people that help me just like I would anybody else.
Yeah, and can I ask you too? A lot of times, I would assume that in a campaign situation, you're out on the road, you're campaigning. Your team that you've assembled is handling the obviously here in this case a disclosure was filed with the election board, the Federal Election Commission, and I'm assuming, because the question was, well, when the OD asked you about this, you said no comment. Were you in a situation where you were not privy to what went on, or because it made it seem as if you were trying to hide something?
What may have made it seem that way to them, it's silly. The simple truth is we spent over $1 million on advertising, and I don't keep it all in my head. What I should have said was, I'll get back to you, but
right.
You try to deal with people in the moment and move on. We're absolutely okay with the Independence Party. We do have their nomination. We only printed or put out what we were told, and we're moving forward. We're getting petitions signed. The timing of all this on Arcuri's part was interesting to me because it's the same week that he found out he lost that endorsement, same week that petitions go out, and the same week we were intending to make an announcement. So this is an attempt to cast an odd light on this campaign. But that's the way it looks to a lot of people I know. I honestly think that it's a non-issue, that these things, people see it for what it is, and we'll move on. I do agree with the editorial the OD wrote the other day that people should not be able to buy and sell endorsements.
Right.
And I do believe that campaign finance reform is critical to this country because there is too much money involved in government, and the opportunities for basic people to get into government at any level are very difficult because it's an insider's game.
Now, you say that you agree with that, and I certainly
I don't agree with what they said about us because they only print a tenth of the story, or part of the story.
The story, the fact that this came out, I believe, in Saturday's paper, that the editorial board is saying that no more, it should be stopped, the fact that you can buy an endorsement. But it
they assume they draw the conclusion without looking at the facts.
But it kind of implied that that's what you did, that you bought the endorsement.
Of course it did, and that's not fair. It's not good journalism, and it's just not the case. They never mention Arcuri's money. That he's given the Independence Party or other parties. They never mention the fact that we already had the endorsement, which is important. And I think that they started out with a conclusion and focused on the facts that proved it.
Yeah.
But they're wrong. And I feel good about the direction of this campaign. I feel great about the endorsement. I mean, how in the heck could the Independence Party support Arcuri's tenure? There's nothing about him that represents their interests or their philosophy. And I admit that sometimes all these parties, you wonder exactly what they stand for. They don't necessarily hold out a platform that's consistent. But I will say that if there's a candidate in this that's independent and thoughtful and represents the independence philosophy, it's me. It's certainly not him. So It's obvious they endorse me, and we're happy for that.
You are you're an outsider when it comes to the whole political thing. You've not run for office before, other than this. This is a whole new world from owning your own business.
Oh yeah, and I admit I'm not that. He's a polished politician. Mr. Arcuri has run for office many times. He's never had a business career outside of government. His career is government, and why wouldn't he be more adept at some of this stuff than me? I'm a practical man. I've had a great life in this community, but I'm not a politician, and I've never been involved in it up until my last race. And I still believe that outsiders should have a chance in this world, and that people who have had good, solid lives, who don't want to build a career out of government, who aren't willing to compromise everything they do just to get elected, should still have a place.
I guess what where I was kind of going with this is that, but if you are going to be the congressman, I would think that this is going to be a very important thing to make sure that the people that are on your team are going to be there to guide you, to make sure that because you cannot, no politician knows every single, element of government. That's why they have advisors. That's why they have assistants and people that assist them along the way.
Mm-hmm.
Talk about your team. And is this a mistake done on the part of your team, or
you know what? I don't think it's a mistake on anybody's part. I think that the filing that we put in said what it was. It was money that I spent that was mine.
Yep.
And where it went, I have no control over. I have supported the Conservative Party. I don't ask them where they spent the money. We did put down this was for advertising. Obviously, I don't know if it went for that or not, but it doesn't look like it. But what it went for is whatever they spent it on. I'm happy to support the party. I've supported the Republican Party equally, and I don't ask them what they do with the money. It's just the nature of the beast. It's unfortunate that money is such a big part of it all, but it is.
And the nature of the beast. Where I was going before is basically being that you are not a career politician. Are things like this, when you're dragged into something like this, does it make you second guess yourself a little bit about running?
It does. It makes you feel bad. You know your side. You know the truth, and your conscience is clear. And you have someone call the OD, make a comment, and then you see the rest of the story. It's innuendo. It's assassination without a gun or a knife. It's just done in darkness. And then the Observer-Dispatch ran with the story as if they had something, and there's nothing there. And it's just unfortunate. It is part of it. It is discouraging. You do wish that you could focus on the issues. I think, though, that this campaign may get worse before it gets better. What's absolutely clear about Mr. Arcuri, and I think they all know this, is that his performance in Congress is unsupportable. It's undefendable. His record is all over the map. It's unprincipled, and it flows with the politics of the moment. And he is. I would much prefer to talk about the issues on the ground and his record, and my record, frankly, my personal record, than these kinds of things. But and the OD made that point, and I think they're right. But they don't help the issue by dragging out something and not giving the whole truth.
As there's still a long time to go, will you participate in debates like you did before? And if we were to propose a debate that worked for you and the rules were something that everybody could be in agreement with, would you participate in a debate such as that?
Oh, you bet. I'd enjoy it. I read your online newspaper, I think just about every day, and I enjoy it, and I'd look forward to that. I don't mind at all.
It's a good thing to have an alternative, a different view.
Yeah,
kind of keeps everybody in check.
Your online is not an alternative. I think it's pretty mainstream. It's well written, and I enjoy it. And I read the OD too. I think the OD is a much maligned paper, but I do read it. I do enjoy it, and I think by and large it's a good paper.
Richard Hanna, I appreciate you coming on. We'll have you, I'm sure, many more times before the election, and who knows, maybe a debate we can put together. So,
hey, thanks a lot. I appreciate it. Have a great day.